To give you an anchor chart to look at. This anchor chart is dealing with inferencing. As you can see here, it says that the formula for inferencing is a dose of schema, a piece of evidence equals a solid inference. And so that kind of relates to science when it's talking about a dose of, a piece of, and a solid. And then it says, here's a similar one to use with text. Background knowledge, BK, so not Burger King, background knowledge. Text clues, TC, also equals an inference. And so we did 2 different activities, and I think I've already posted an activity that we did. One activity was to use inference to help you figure out an unknown word. So let's say your child is reading and they say, Mom, Dad, I don't know what this word means. So they can say it, but they don't understand the meaning. Instead of just telling them the meaning, or instead of referring them to the dictionary, now we have practiced in class how they could infer the meaning by using the clues from the sentence. So basically what I did was I read aloud a portion of a book. The children stopped me once they heard a word that they did not know. So the first word was glance. Okay. And then we wrote down the sentence. So they told me the sentence. After we wrote down the sentence, then we really looked inside the sentence for clues. And once we looked at the clues, we inferred a meaning. So we inferred that look would be a good substitute for the word glance based on the clue, out the window, flakes are still falling. So we substituted and said when Miguel looked out the window the next morning, flakes are still falling. Okay, and so as you can see, another word we did was arrogance. That was when we were reading the book. I read a little bit of the Titanic. Okay, and that one didn't per se, it had a sentence. I didn't write it down, but what I wanted to have them to notice was another thinking map that we use. And so heroism, fear, humility, arrogance, wealth, poverty, life, and death. So I said, out of all those words, which 2 are you most comfortable with? And of course, they said life and death. And then I asked them, okay, what can you tell me about life and death using this brace map? And so they told me they are opposites. Life and death are opposite. So then I was able to go up to wealth and poverty. And then they were able to say, I said, if someone is wealthy, what does that mean? They say they're rich. So what do you think poverty means? Poor. So we went through each of those and it kind of gave us a clue to help us figure out arrogance. And so we inferred that arrogance means that person was stuck up or a know-it-all. Okay, so that's what I'm wanting you to encourage your child to use the literacy. Here it is, the literacy equation, BK plus TC, in order to infer a word that they do not know. They can also make inferences if they're reading. So if the author doesn't specifically say the answer within the text, sometimes they have to read between the lines. And so in order to read between the lines, you have to pick up the clues that are in the book and make an inference on what the meaning could be and make sure that it sounds right and makes sense. So that's another activity that we did for inferencing.